Hi, everybody. Welcome to our new show here on Fridays. It's called Crypto Friday. We're highlighting great founders, companies, and their tokens as well here on Friday. This will be a new regular show that we're going to be doing, inviting all audiences around the world, more importantly, at this time around North America and Europe, to come and join us, learn about these great projects, the founders behind them, and what they're doing as well. And today I'm joined actually by the founder of a company called HOHE. He'll tell us a little bit more about this, Rick Berman. Rick, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you. Just a little introduction for everyone out there listening.
Thank you, Kyle.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. And I think we might have had a lag, so apologies out there, everybody. Just a quick heads up today as well, as Rick and I are talking about what he has built along with his team, we are going to be running a giveaway, something very exciting here because it's Friday. Let's have some fun. And so with this, I'll be putting the rules to the the giveaway throughout the show, but in quick, here's how it works. Everyone who purchases HOHE, the HOHE, and this is again what Rick is going to be talking about here in just a moment, during the live show gets double their initial purchase. Rule number one, there's a certain amount you got to purchase, which I'll put on the screen here in just a moment. We'll double that. Second, this is only for KYC verified users. And third, purchases have to happen here during the show. But without further ado, Rick, let's go ahead and jump in. Give us a little background on yourself, how you came about to create this project and what you and your team are building.
Thank you. Well, my background is in healthcare and renewable energy. And throughout the last 40 years, I've spent a significant amount of time primarily in the finance side of those two businesses. During the pandemic, I got involved with the crypto field, trying to learn more about it, and I made a series of tokens. The most current is similar to, you've heard of SPAC, the special purpose acquisition companies that you see in the stock markets in various countries. And the purpose of a SPAC is it's like a blank check. You raise money to buy or acquire a company or an asset. And so if you take that, which there's a lot of regulation, and of course you have to be registered to do this in a stock market. So I thought, well, that's a great idea because I'm interested in buying home health and hospice companies. So I thought maybe I could take the traditional SPAC and turn it into an SPT, otherwise known as special purpose token. So then along those lines, I thought, well, my interests are in healthcare as well as renewable energy, because I've, for the last 12 years, developed significant intellectual property in algae farm. So I decided, okay, let's start with a series of special purpose tokens. The first one is called HOHE, which is short for home health and hospice. And so this is how we got to where we are today. We're rolling this out. We need support. And we have a lot of options to go forward, but this is step one, which is to get the basics taken care of.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, Rick, on that. And it sounds very unique. I mean, going from healthcare to this new special purpose vehicle with tokens. I mean, this is a lot of bridging of worlds. So if someone's out there looking to understand more, or maybe even want to talk to you about investing or purchasing the particular token, again, HOHE for those that are tuning in, what would be the reason? What is that pitch out there to them? I mean, holding an HOHE token, what does that do for you, the owner of the project, and then also for the investor themselves?
excellent question, and I've got an excellent answer for you. If you are an investor or interested party, think in terms of private equity, think in terms of a 5-year window. In our specific purpose over a 5-year window, we have a model to acquire home health and hospice agencies of a certain type of existing revenue, a certain level, like a minimum of $1.5 million up to $20 million. Over a 4-year period, our plan is to acquire and grow both home health and hospice in areas that my team is familiar with, where we have significant referral sources and to get the patients. And what we plan on doing is grow these agencies up to 2,000 ADC, which is average daily census. Then we will have these assets that we acquired over the previous 4 years. We will have them valued as an enterprise. We will hire an investment banking firm, no names mentioned, that are good in this space and well known in this space. And they will put it out to bid, and we will exit the space as most private equity firms do. The usual window is 5 to 7 years. This we will exit in 5 to 7. We'll exit in 5 years. Now, how does that have to do with the token holders? As far as the token holder goes, this token is an asset of this enterprise. So when it is sold, there will be a certain value placed on the token, and those who have a proportionate share of that token will get a proportionate share of the proceeds from the sale. I will say this: when you accumulate healthcare assets and you sell them, you get paid, or the value is based on patients, or what we call census. So there's going to be debt involved, there'll be equity involved, there's to the side the tokens involved. They're all considered assets. And so if you're asking what's the payoff is in 5 years, or if something happens sooner and somebody says, well, we want another private equity firm, for instance, might say, we're just dying to get into this space and we're willing to offer you a premium because you have a lot of average daily census and your revenue cycle management is great. So you can exit in 3 years. So we don't know that that's going to happen, but our plan is that we will exit in 5 years. Hopefully that answered.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. We got more questions for you here, Rick, as well. I've got some great ones coming in from the live audience that's tuning in as well. So thank you everybody for your questions and comments. Keep them coming. And as a reminder, we are doing the giveaway here on Crypto Friday. I'm continuing to put the notes on the screen for you. So anyone who purchases, again, the HOHE token during this live show today will double their initial purchase as well. This is only for KYC verified users. And again, it has to happen during the show. So next up, Rick, another question for you. Let's get under the hood around HOHE. Let's get to the technicalities. Talk to us a little bit about how this is all built. What is there a particular blockchain that you're using? What does the infrastructure, the technology stack look like that helped create this for you?
Okay, great question. It's ERC20, but it is a utility. It's asset backed as opposed to, quote, security that depends on a bunch of things that put you in the position where you need to be registered. This, from a regulatory standpoint, is considered a utility token. So the blockchain is ERC20.
Got it. Thank you. And as we continue, what's the market cap around the token today? What's the maximum supply that's out there? Is this something that's going to continue to grow? What does that look like?
The market cap, we started trading in, I think it was the 11th of and the market cap is crazy. One day it's like 300 million, and one day it's a billion, and one day it's 38,000. I'm dizzy. I can't keep up, which is why one of the goals, which I thought we had in the beginning, and we're still working on it, is to figure out a way to have some kind of safety net with regard to the wild variances of the prices of the token. So the answer to your question is pick an hour, because it changes by the hour. And that's one of the issues in this industry. The good news is when something is in the state that it's in the pioneering state, somebody's going to pioneer a way to control the bottom number. And that's what's necessary, not just for my own personal tokens, but for everybody's, because it's not a stable way to build a platform, if you will. That's why you have to have other things on top of the tokens.
And speaking of that, talk just a little bit about your team. I mean, we have you on here, and we're very excited to welcome you here on Crypto Friday. But who else is a part of this team? You know, is it just you? Do you have a great set of individuals that are helping you build this? Talk to us a little bit about the team and management behind the company as well.
Well, the team is primarily they're in the healthcare and finance industries. For instance, there are CPAs that are near where you are, except going south in the California area. In Southern California, their specific expertise is cost reporting for these Medicare agencies. And why that's important is when you want to buy an existing Medicare agency, you had better know what we call how to read a cost report. And who better to read a cost report than a CPA who specializes in writing cost reports and assembling them for Medicare providers. Why that is all important when you want to buy something. One of the number one problems from people trying to buy healthcare groups, whether it be a hospital, a nursing home, a home health, a hospice, whatever, is what we call successor liability. Most people have no idea how to spell it, much less what it means. And that's why they run into a lot of problems. And I myself have spent much of my career correcting these problems from people that didn't know what they were buying. However, we don't have that problem. So, answer your question, we have people in the marketing side of healthcare. Why that's important is it's a revenue driven business, which means you have to have census, but not just any census. You got to have the right census, because census that's not profitable will not be good for you. So we have a model of what kind of census we want, how many days we're looking for, because Medicare pays for a certain amount of days. Doesn't do you any good to get somebody who's you're going to get and is going to leave you one way or another in 14 days. You need to have what's called frequent flyers to take care of that. That's not a good way to do a business. We have an idea that you need 88 days of service to really excel and be profitable. So we have people that are on the marketing side. We have people on the clinical side, as well as they have CPA licenses, as well as nursing home or nursing licenses. So that's a heck way, because that way, when you're dealing on the clinical side, you are cognizant of how it affects you on the financial side. We also have people who are great at and have the expertise in operations in many, quote, senior living, housing, healthcare businesses. So that's very important. You have to have a team that understands what we call the big three: the finance, the operations, and the clinical. Without that, you're nowhere. You will fail in this business. I've been around this business a long time. I picked up the pieces. I learned how to pick up the pieces when we had a horrible situation in America with the healthcare business crashing when President Clinton was in office. And so I learned how to sink or swim in those days, going back to 1997 and 98. So we do have a great team. They are, and that's what, and we do have one guy whose specialty is Director of Information Technology, because we are in a button pushing business in America. You have to understand how to bill and code in order to get paid commensurate with the services you are providing.
Absolutely, and thank you, Rick. A few more questions here for you, and for our audience. Again, thank you all out there for the great questions and comments that are incoming. Remember, we are doing a giveaway today for HOHE with Rick and his team, so make sure that you are looking at that. And just for the quick reminder on the rules, purchasing during today's show, a live show at that, will double your initial purchase as well. There are the amounts, just as a reminder. This is for those that are KYC only as well, but nonetheless. What's that, Rick?
Not to interrupt, but yes, that is an excellent deal. That's a great deal. I wish somebody would have offered me that a long time ago.
Well, there you go, everybody. See, Rick, the founder himself, is even promoting it as well. So definitely check it out at LATOKEN.com for those who have not already visited. Again, keep your questions and comments incoming as well. Rick, continuing on our questions, talk to us again about the uses of HOHE and how this will be distributed to those token holders, but then also users and clients of the company as well.
Ideally, a utility token should be used as a means of payment for goods and services where accepted. The only way that's ever going to happen is we have to, number one, get a lot of tokens in existence, or get them out in the hands of people, which is why we're having this promotion today. And of course, however many you buy in that certain price range that Kyle put up on the board, on the screen, we're going to double. So we have to get the tokens out there. Yes, there it is right there. It is a great deal. Like I said, I wish somebody would have offered me that a long time ago with anything that I got involved with. And so we need to get these tokens out there. Then we need to get the price in a nice area like that. And the business, ideally, tokens are supposed to be used as a means of payment as well as trading. They're not supposed to be used for a lot of the purposes that people are purporting them. And I won't go into that because I don't do that. But this is what they're supposed to be. Now, as far as distribution goes, the distribution of this contest today, whatever you buy while we're on the air, you're going to get distributed, because I've given the tokens to LATOKEN. They're going to do their accounting quickly, and they're going to turn these tokens around today. So you will have them distributed today. As far as the overall tokenomics distribution, when your purpose is to make this a means of payment, you have to have minted or deployed many tokens, a lot. Just think in terms of like a currency. So you don't have to use them all, but you have to have them, because the nature of the business is such that you can't just add on to it as easily as you think. You have to do the equivalent of like a corporate action and then redeploy other tokens. So I learned it's best to mint more than you need for today, but with an eye for the future. So you don't have any problem in distributing the tokens to people who buy them.
Thank you, Ray. That's great. So Rick, looking towards the future, where does the project go from here? What does the timeline look like for the next 1, 3, 5 years out, as well for HOHE?
For the next year, we need to raise money through tokens, through private equity, and even there's a certain amount of equity we have. We have an opportunity through another corporate entity that I have to do an IPO on a fast track, but it takes significant amount of equity in order to pay for the market makers, the investment bankers, the regulatory, because you have a lot of finance and accounting. But it's possible that this could be a public company sooner than later if a certain amount is raised for the foothold, so to speak. The purpose is to buy a bunch of or acquire a bunch of home health and hospice companies around $20 million worth, turn them into like $40 million of revenue, exit the space. Well, we're going to operate all the way through 5 years, but we plan on getting all the assets, all the companies valued as a single enterprise. Parties will be other operators, and there'll be private equity people that are enamored with American government reimbursement, but don't necessarily, they know how to buy it, or they think they know how to buy it, but they don't know how to run it. So it would be management in place, either our management in place or somebody who buys it will have their own management in place. But we have a plan to be busy for the next 5 years for this. But let me just tell you something else. The purpose of this SPT, this is considered SPT1. I plan on issuing over the next 12 months 6 SPTs, one of which might have to do with 2 of the other tokens that I have. It might be SPT2 may acquire the tokens of AGOL and AGOLP, which is in the biotech or specialty chemical industry, and then other aspects like SPT3 could be to buy nursing homes. So it is a series, and that was the way it was designed, because it's too complicated for people to understand and to grasp that, well, I like home health and hospice, but I don't like renewable energy, or I don't like algae for cosmetics. So we're in the make people happy business. So you got to really focus. And because the way the industry is, and we're like in the pioneering, nobody that I know, and I'm not saying that it's not being done, but nobody I know is taking this SPT idea the way I have and using it similar to the SPAC method or blank check method in the stock market. So we're pioneering this, but there's a specific need for it, and this is what we plan on doing over the next year and the next 5 years.
Nice. So this will be a series, as you've mentioned, as well. Now, this is something you and your team will continue to do, and as a purchaser or an investor in HOHE, you'll be able to participate in each of those series as they come, or will they all be various versions of something like HOHE, just for our listeners out there, so they can get excited about all the...
You're invited, of course, to buy it. But if you own SPT1 token or HOHE, that would not give you the rights to get free SPT2 or SPT3 or what have you. They're all separate. So I'm glad you brought that up, because they're all going to be separately. They're going to have separate symbols. And there'll be separate smart contracts. I was getting ready to say registration, but that's an unnecessary word here. Separate smart contracts. They're all separate tokens, which is good from the standpoint, because we plan on being successful with all of them. So the series will be good, but the series has some of the common elements in that I'm involved with it, and some of the team from the finance side and marketing side are involved we'll be involved with all of them.
Got it. And with that being said, Rick, what's that big pitch to our viewers out there? Just as a one last big shout out to all of them that are looking to buy HOHE. And again, to our audience, again, thank you for all the questions and comments incoming. Keep them coming. But remember, today we do have a giveaway during this live show. If you purchase HOHE, we will double your initial purchase as well. This is for KYC users only. I'll put up that number again in just a moment. But Rick, give our audience, again, a good pitch as to why they should participate not only in today's giveaway, but into the greater success of HOHE and its future as well.
Well, great question. We know where we're going, and we'll actually get there one way or another. And it'll take probably 4 to 5 years to do that. The token is going to be part of this enterprise, which buys assets in health, in the American healthcare business, specifically home health and hospice. It's going to be valued as separately, but also it'll be associated with something that's different than most crypto endeavors, because they're not really, I don't want to go into great detail about what other people do because it really doesn't matter, but this actually is going to, it'll have its roots and be related to an actual business, even though the token is more, it'll be valued on another business, and it has assets that back it, as opposed to just, it's a great idea, but so what? So this actually has something of value that backs it, which is why I always thought that it would be a great idea for it to be used as a means of payment in the future as well.
Thank you, Rick. And want to take a quick side step back into the healthcare industry. I mean, you've been in this industry for many years. Talk to us about what you see in this industry and how we'll start to evolve over the next couple years, in parallel with HOHE, but in general, your view of the healthcare and hospice markets as well. And again, users, don't forget today's giveaway during this live episode only. Make sure to purchase HOHE as well, and we'll double that initial purchase. Rick.
I agree. You need to. We'll double your initial purchase. And I wish somebody would have offered me that. But in answer to your question, the American healthcare business is going through a huge transformation. Specifically, if people think it's out of money, it's not out of money. But the amount of people that need these services are growing every day. Just from the senior living, housing, and so on, 10,000 new people every day need to be on Medicare. They need nursing homes. They need assisted living. Problem is, people don't understand Medicare only pays for 100 days of a nursing home. If you plan on staying there for like 3, 4, 5 years and become deceased in a nursing home, you better have another way of paying it. Otherwise, you'll be on the other thing we have in America called Medicaid. So because of this, we're going to have to expand the way people get paid, which includes expanding Medicare. So you'll be able to get, hopefully, access to Medicare before you turn 65. Also, a lot of people want to age in place, either in a facility that has nursing homes or skilled long-term care, hospice, and assisted living and memory care. Others want to stay at home. The advantage of the home healthcare business and hospice business is the operator comes to your house, which means the operator doesn't have what we call the bricks and sticks burden. They don't have to pay for a decrepit old building with a lot of deferred maintenance. And that has been a real problem in the nursing home industry. So the margins are much higher for home health and hospice, 15 to 20%, as opposed to nursing home or skilled and long-term care, which is 3 to 6%. And it's specifically tied to the fact that you don't have this burden of the buildings. And so the business of staying at home is becoming really important. And of course, you can do this in home health and hospice, although there are different versions of hospice, some even where you can go to a building and hospice operator either leases the beds from a nursing home, or you have what's called an IPU, inpatient unit. And so where the company actually owns that, but you're there to stay because you need more services than what would be provided, could be provided in your home. So the future is a lot more healthcare, and our dollars are going to be really required, bigger dollars, expanded entrance into getting access to healthcare, because people are demanding it. They're tired of the middle group of people are paying for the upper and the lower to get all the healthcare for free, and the middle is the one that's getting squeezed, and the numbers are pretty awful as far as either being underinsured or not insured at all. So we are there from the standpoint of we know how to do more with less, because if you've been in the side of healthcare we've been in, that's not the gravy side like the hospitals. We've always had to do more with less, but we learned how to do it, and we learned how to do it well. And so now we want to take advantage of our opportunities, which is a lot of people want to get out of the business because they're never going to be able to cut it in the future. They don't have what it takes to be able to do it. They don't have the team. They don't have the money. They're standalone, and so it's time for those guys to move on out and sell their businesses to people like myself and people that I know that are of a like mind to go into this type of business where you're accumulating census and operating and increasing value. Hopefully that answers your question.
Absolutely. Spoken like a true entrepreneur, Rick. Congratulations to you and your team on all that you've built with HOHE. One last quick shout out to the audience, Rick, about HOHE and why they should be looking at, again, investing and or being a part of the company in some way, shape, or form. If you could, one shout out, and also maybe where they can find out more information about HOHE as we come to close. And before you do, as a reminder to the audience, during today's live show right now, if you purchase HOHE, you'll double your investment. And here's the amounts right there. Rick and his team have been kind enough to be a part of this as well and give this to each of you. So Rick, without further ado, tell us a little bit, one big pitch to the audience as to why they should be looking at HOHE to add into their portfolios and to be monitoring the company, where they can find you.
Potential, potential, potential. Did I say potential? That is the key word, and why somebody would want to get involved with HOHE, as well as the other future SPT tokens that we will have. Right now, the token is being traded on LATOKEN. We have a white paper rather than spend a long time explaining everything. If you will go to landing page on HOHE and look on LATOKEN exchange, then it's very conveniently located where you can see the white paper that's been uploaded, and you can press the button, and it really explains a couple of things. One, what SPT and why that's important, and I really believe that's going to be a way of doing business. We're like a pioneer in this now. You know, Kyle, maybe you know about SPACs, but I don't know if you've ever seen anybody do an SPT like what I've been doing. So you're getting in on the ground floor. You're pioneering. You're being part of a pioneering effort, and it's been successful on the stock side. So there's absolutely no reason at all that it should not be successful on the token side. And so if you will go and look at this white paper, and I think you'll see you're in the right place. Of course, that comes after you buy this, because we're running out of time. So you need to, in order to get your tokens and your double tokens, you need to purchase these. Hopefully, while we're speaking, hopefully you did it already. But if you didn't, you certainly need to do it now. And these rates, I'm looking at them, are quite attractive. So we're going to be successful. We have been successful in our other endeavors, and we're methodical on how we do things. We know how to deliver, and that's really what it's all about. In any business is, do you know how to deliver? It's great to have an idea, but if you don't have the delivery, you are nowhere. And I always am somewhere. So that's what I have to say, Colin.
Thank you very, very much, Rick. And again, to our audience, this is the last few minutes to purchase HOHE and have your purchase doubled as well. Rick, it's been such a pleasure learning about everything you and your team have built and are building towards a very exciting future as well. So congratulations on what you've done to date, and look forward to watching how the company and the project continues to unveil over the next couple of years. And again, that is HOHE for those that are listening. Last few minutes here as we come to close to get your purchases in and double those purchases as well. LATOKEN.com for those who are just tuning in. Again, those are for only KYC verified users as well. Rick, thank you again so much. And again, everyone make sure to reach out to Rick as well and his team. Check out the HOHE token on LATOKEN.com. I am your host today, Kyle Ellicott. This has been Crypto Friday with Rick and HOHE. We'll be back here next Friday and every Friday with more of new exciting today. Again, last 2 minutes. Maybe you get in as well around HOHE before we close out. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, audience. Have a great day as well. And we'll talk soon.